This week on Gaia.
Is there a hidden, more esoteric, deeper meaning to the Hollywood films that we all love to watch? I'm Dyer.
And I'm Weidner, and this is Hollywood Decoded.
In 1997, James Cameron released his blockbuster epic Titanic.
The Matrix is a very esoteric, philosophically heavy trilogy from the Wachowskis. Today we're going to look at artificial intelligence.
Hollywood Decoded decodes the biggest films in an unparalleled way, from the classics of the silver screen to today's blockbusters.
There were significant sightings of unknown things over the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and such that it made the front page of the New York Times and actually bumped the Democratic National Convention off the front page. The Air Force held their very large press conference as a result of this, and they said, it's true, we don't know what all of these are, but we do feel with more information we could identify them all. We do not feel this is a matter of national security. The sightings of the past weekends, we believe, had to do with a weather phenomenon, basically screwing up the radar and causing false visuals.
I was studying propulsion, so I started building rockets. They started off by solid propellant, which I made my own solid rocket fuel, just like Homer Hickman did. So I jumped to the cryogenic fluids, liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen. Then we got some power out of that. And cryogenic fluids, with their temperatures running around 325 degrees Fahrenheit below zero, when you detonate something like that, you get a lot of BTUs. So you get thrust, and now you can start working on all kinds of math tables with that kind of stuff.
We also have Krishna, who is always being described as a being who looks basically like us, but has extremely, what we would consider godlike capabilities, and his skin is blue. When you get into the Vedas and you read what these beings could do, they do appear to be ascended beings, or what we now would call fourth density. They can move objects with their minds, they can communicate telepathically, they can levitate, they can do really amazing stuff. And this was considered commonplace.
You're seeing a lot of the return to those same kind of values that we had in the late 60s coming out right now again. And we're living in very revolutionary times, so you're going to see very revolutionary movies, I think.
That makes sense. I mean, as Robert Phoenix says, and has said repeatedly in my interviews with him, we're under the same, basically, astrological influence that we were then.
That's right. And you're starting to see things happening that are very interesting. And, you know, like Westworld on HBO is a very interesting show. So I think that movies really did transform right around that time period. And they've been transforming ever since.
So I asked him about the Santilli autopsy footage. He said, you know, he said one of the artifacts I had in the nut file that he calls the file of artifacts that were given to him from General Trudeau. Okay. He said was this black lens that everybody thinks is the ET's eye. It's not. It's a light collector. And he said, I had this black lens in that file. And he said, and he's saying this on the stage, and he said, we used to put it up to our eyes and walk up and down the halls of the Pentagon and we could see the furniture in the dark.
On February 15th, 1898, an explosion rocked the Maine while it was docked in the harbor. 266 crew members were killed, only 89 survived. The entire forward third of the ship was destroyed, mainly where the ammunition was stored. The tabloids whipped the public into a frenzy. There was a slogan on everyone's lips: remember the Maine, to hell with Spain. Before long, America was at war with Spain, quickly defeated them, and gobbled up many colonial prizes. The explosion that sunk this battleship is still a mystery. Not surprisingly, it's often been considered to be a false flag, or at least a possible false flag done by the United States as a way to justify the war.